Good afternoon, Coach. We'll get started here with John and then Bo.
Hey, Doug. First, have you named it? Are you going to name a starting quarterback? Is it going to be Jalen, week 17? And also, you mentioned on the radio this morning you're fully confident in returning. Is that a personal belief or is that something you got from the organization?
I am gonna start Jalen again this week. Going into week 17, definitely want to continue to evaluate and not only him but the rest of the team and where we are moving forward and in regards to my status, obviously Jeffrey and I have a lot of conversations throughout the season. Obviously our main focus is on the season right now. Currently, we still have one game to play, and really, my confidence lies in myself. That I know that I know exactly how to get things fixed. We've won a lot of games around here. We've been in the postseason 3 out of the last the 5 years that I've been here, a championship and all that. So I've seen it, I've done it, and that's where my confidence lies. And so these conversations that we're talking about will be at the appropriate time.
Go ahead, Bo, and then Jamie.
Doug, the stuff about job security, do you ever have those discussions with players, or are some of the veterans ever talking to you about things like that?
I don't, and I don't really feel the need to talk to the players. I just think that I think if you were to ask the players, I think they would be honest with you on how they feel about me and what the things that we've done around here. So I don't feel the need to necessarily address the team or ask certain guys, on that.
Jamie and then Jeff McLean.
Doug, I know you take a ton of pride in this team and this city and what you guys put on the field. And the fact that you're 3 years removed from the Super Bowl and ended up with the worst record in the worst division, that's got to weigh on you like crazy. Can you talk about what a personal hit this is to have a season like this?
Yeah, this season has been tough. For myself personally, as the head football coach here, obviously as the team, and dealing with the pandemic and just everything that's really hit us through injury and not playing well, and it's very disheartening, and I just I just sit here today and just have to apologize to the fans and really just this is not what we expected. It's not what I expected. Back in training camp and the early part of the season. But I know in my heart that this is a great place to play. This is a great place to coach. We do have the best fans. When we win, it's unbelievable and it's exciting. And I know we can get back to that level. Like I said earlier, I know what that looks like. I know what it takes. Me personally, I've been in 3 Super Bowls. I've been on 3 Super Bowl teams, and I've seen exactly how it can be done. And we've got to get that back. We've got some great players. We got some great young players, and they're getting valuable experience right now playing. And it's just unfortunate that we're not winning these games. I think of yesterday's game is kind of like how our season's gone. We've had opportunities, right? We're in the red zone, we're in the scoring zone, and we just come up short, and that's kind of been the way our season's gone, and it is unfortunate, but I know we can get it turned around and get it fixed.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Kristen.
Doug, you spoke about your confidence in yourself and what you've accomplished these last 5 seasons, but how do you explain the 3-year regression that we've seen with the Eagles under your stewardship, the last 2 in 2 of the worst divisions historically the NFL has ever seen?
Hey, appreciate the confidence, John, or Jeff, sorry. You got to look at the injuries, number one, and you got to look at the amount that's piled up on us and the amount of guys on injured reserve. That's that to me has been one of the biggest things that's affected our football team. And then so many young players, and you look at our team yesterday, and there's so many new faces out there. There's so many young players out there playing, and it's been that way the last couple of seasons, and that's the part that is the most challenging to deal with when you're dealing with the roster that way, that gets hit with the amount of injuries. I mean, you look at the offensive line. Let's just start there. You lose Brandon Brooks in the offseason, then Andre Dillard goes down. Then Lane and JP, and your entire O line. Isaac's out for 8 weeks. I mean, where are you going to find continuity? How are you going to get continuity there? And so that to me has been, I think, these last couple of seasons. And really last year, we had a chance to win. We had a chance to win that Seahawks game, that playoff game. And Carson goes down in the first quarter, and who knows what's going to happen after that. So you can't sit here and just say, hey, it's been such a demise. I mean, this has been a strange year all around. So I look at things a little bit differently.
Why are you guys then one of the most injured teams the last 3 years?
Football's a rough sport, man.
Kristen, and then Zach.
Hey, Doug, obviously you guys do have a game to play this week. How do things change? Do you try to evaluate some of the younger guys a little bit more? Do you give them a chance to step up? And how do you make sure that everyone stays engaged with no playoffs on the line?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously my challenge this week, is to keep everybody engaged. And as far as the young players go, the young players have been playing, and we've had a chance to evaluate them here these last couple of weeks, and we're going to continue to do that. But at the same time, we've got some veteran players that need to play, and we're going into this week, hopefully, going in there and trying to win the game. I mean, that's how we play, and there's a lot of pride, in the locker room, and I know the veteran guys that are still playing are going to keep things together and help me get that message across.
Zach and Tim.
Hey, good afternoon, Doug. You said you know how to get this fixed. How do you do that? And who's the quarterback to do that with you?
Well, obviously, I can't answer the second part. Moving forward, we don't necessarily, we're not there yet as far as answering all those questions. Things can obviously change, but we'll answer that, at a different time. I just know that we've got to get back. We've got to get back to fundamentals. We got to get back to basics. Having a missed off season, we got to get back to that. We got to get back to the teaching of the basics and the fundamentals, and having OTAs and having practice and getting back to the things that we've had success here in the past, and being smart that way, and really, leaning on our past just a little bit, and those things that have helped us win games and win a championship, and that all comes, with the off season, moving forward, and we know there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made moving forward, and that's obviously at a different time, but I know that we can get back to that, get back to the fundamentals, get back to the basics, get back to kind of to who we are, start our identity in the off season, and that's where you build the foundation.
Tim, and then Les.
Hey, Doug, the play that Jordan Mailata suffered the head injury, did you get to see that? What'd you make of it? And how is Jordan doing? Are you sending that tape to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at it. We'll send it in and see what happens. Jordan's in the protocol, so that's all I can comment on that. And as far as the hit and all that goes, I mean, listen, those are things that happen. I mean, it's you don't want to see that. Obviously, it looked like a helmet blow type play, and it's unfortunate that happened. But he's in the protocol, and we'll see where he's at each day this week.
Les, and then Dave.
Hi, Doug. Not to belabor yesterday, but I know you went in with the intention of running. Obviously, the first series showed that. you got down in the third quarter, and it just seemed like that disappeared, even though you had a lot of time left and you weren't down that far. Was it something that Dallas did? Was it the penalties? What got you away from that plan that you went into the game with?
You start out and you want to establish that run. I mean, that was the thing that we wanted to do. And the one thing that really, as the game progressed, and you really look at this second half, and it's kind of the tale of two halves again. The mistakes that were made in the passing game, mistakes that were made in the run game, the penalties, the pre-snap penalties, are all things that really cost us the opportunity to score points. Having gone back and looked at the game again today, and we had 5 or 6 drives to the inside the 50-yard line that stalled out due to those mistakes and the inability to stay on the field. And there's enough. Some of it's on the quarterback, some of it's on the offensive line, the receivers offensively, obviously, and so we all had a hand in the failure. But with these guys, it's a great learning experience. It's a lesson to be learned, I think, to how important it is that each play, as the game wears on, each play becomes that much more important.
Thank you.
Even then, Nick. Or Nick, go ahead if you're ready.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Doug. I wanted to ask if you had any other injury updates from yesterday besides Jordan, like maybe Deshaun. And do you think he got hurt on that first play, on that touchdown play when he did the flip?
I don't think he got hurt on that particular play. I do know that he got, the foot, the injury became more sore as the game wore on, and it just affected him more and more to the point where he couldn't be himself. So we had to keep him out. I mentioned Jordan is in the protocol this week. Derek Barnett from last week is pushing through his injury. It happened at the end of last week, and he's going to push through and see where he's at. Come game time. Fletcher Cox, similar got injured early in the football game. We're going to see where he's at as the week goes on. So, we're a little nicked up again. Sean Bradley is a little banged up. He's going to be more day to day this week. I'm hoping to get Davion Taylor back. I think we'll get him back this week. Duke Riley back. So we also get some guys. Richard Rodgers is doing well. So anticipate him, coming back this week. Again, we'll see where he's at, on a daily basis. But we're gonna battle through. We're gonna get these guys ready and practice and prepared for Washington.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Mike. Or Mike.
Can't hear you.
Doug, hey, I'll jump Dave there. When you're evaluating this week, especially your coaching staff, and there isn't the playoffs on the line, how important is it that you're seeing that they're not just going through the motions and that they're really kind of taking this opportunity to develop the young talent and the guys around them?
That's one of the things that I go all the way back to the off season when I have really kind of one of my first staff meetings with them, and I basically say, hey, listen, our jobs are based on how well our players play, and it's all about developing, our players and getting them prepared to play. So I know they take a lot of pride in that, and so that's obviously, that doesn't change, right? We have to prepare this week and still have great opportunity to go and play and compete. So I fully expect that the coaching staff is going to get their players ready and go play.
Should we try Dave one more time? And then if not, Rob Mahdi's on deck.
Can you hear me okay?
Got you now.
Okay,
Yep.
great. You talked about fixing this team going forward. when you look at the roster right now as it's constructed, how many major changes do you think there need to be to do that?
Are you asking based on where we currently are, or do you factor in all the injured guys as well?
Well, you can factor them in, but I guess you have to take into account some of those players have been injured before, and maybe they're prone to injuries. I don't know how you.
Well, listen, Dave. You know as well as I do. The roster changes every year. You know, there's going to be guys that go. There's going to be guys that come. We're going to add new draft picks. It's really hard to sit here and say that this team right now, currently factoring in all the injured players, we're going to be the same team, and that's just not the case. I mean, I think, you know, I mean, again, just use the offensive line for an example, right? I mean, you're gonna have Andre Dillard and Jordan Mailata. You're gonna have Isaac. You'll see where Kelsey's at. You got Brandon Brooks possibly in there as well. Lane Johnson back in there with Jack Driscoll. I mean, you look at that, and on paper you kind of go, wow, you know, you got some talented guys, and you got guys that have had young guys that have had valuable experience playing this year that are going to give you great depth, you know, moving forward. And you think about all the young secondary guys. I mean, you know, Graylin Arnold got a lot of time yesterday. Elijah Riley gets some time. These young linebackers have had time, you know. So, and then you're missing guys like Avonte Maddox and, you know, Rodney McLeod. And I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on. So, yes, I would say that we have the pieces, we have the makings of a foundation of getting things back on track. It's just a matter now of let's add some new pieces to it, right? The draft picks, the free agents, and you know, have an off season, have a training camp, and develop all this, and then go play again next season.
We'll wrap it up here with Rob.
Hey, Doug, speaking of those draft picks and free agents and acquiring talent, how do you feel now after 5 years about your role in bringing in personnel? And is that something that you would evaluate, wanting to have more input, have more say in the talent that you guys bring in?
You know, Rob, that's one of the things, you know, you get into this business, especially as a head coach, and you do it because you love being around the players and you want to teach football. And I want to be a part of the solution. I want to be a part of the evaluation process. I want to be a voice that's heard, and you know, I want to have that collaborative communication with Howie and his staff, and you know, and be a part of that process. I don't necessarily want to cross that line because of it takes you away from doing your job as a head football coach. And I like being on the football side of things as a former football player and obviously now a coach. That's where my passion lies. But yet I want to be part of the solution, right? I want to help evaluate and help bring guys in here that can help us win.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.